you guys executed all of that material really well. It was like, wow, sounds really good. But then there was like a little bit of a tripping up in there that kind of, it leaves an impression on the listener's brain for a while. Like that kind of negates all of the hard work in the other elements. Okay, so let's take a look at your line. What tune was that?
Oh, intersecting lines.
Yeah. At the where the saxophone solo is there. That last tune.
Yeah. Intersecting lines.
What are actions and all There's like a weird kind of like cross.
Well, we had to cut it short.
The trumpet alto mechanics.
Let's just start at 20 and see what happens. So full band. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys tripped up both times in the performance, somewhere in there. There was something that was not locking up really well, but this time you guys got it, so let's forget about that. What's the first two that you did? So, like I said before, your director is great, and he's got a lot of wisdom and info that you guys are executing really well. So I have to try to contribute in other ways. I don't want to, give you the same kind of information that you guys can do already. So we got to talk about fundamentals.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
Whenever someone says fundamentals, do you feel like, oh, that's like algebra 1?
That's not hard.
Fundamentals are extremely important, and it's one of those things where it's the foundation of what you're building your musical house on. And the better you get, the more you have to go back and reinforce your fundamentals, your foundation. Just like if you have a really great foundation, but you add on to your house, you have to go back and check to make sure that the foundation is going to be strong enough to support the additions, right? Same thing, when you improve, you have to go back. So it's a lifelong process of working on fundamentals. What are fundamentals? Time, ears, which in this case will be about intonation. Time, intonation, there's something else that I always forget. It's really important. But let's just go with time for now. Let's take your Shiny Stockings piece. And so as impressive as that last piece was with all the fast stuff and the intersecting, I was like, wow, that's cool. That's way easier than what you guys are about to do. It's way easier than this tune as you guys are doing already. Okay? How many of you guys practice with a metronome every day? Good. Like with everything that you practice. Do you practice with a metronome with everything that you practice? Unless it says rubato. It's a must. You have to. And there are people who say, well, if I practice with the metronome, I'll become dependent. That can be true, but most of the times when I hear people say that, it's because they have bad time. The metronome is your mirror. It tells you exactly where your time is. And there are ways to get around the dependency on the metronome, but you gotta believe that you have to work with it all the time, with everything that you practice. Okay? And so I'm going to try to illustrate. So the tempo that you guys usually take on this, I want to take it really slow. Okay? So try to disregard everything that you practice in terms of phrasing, long notes, short notes. Play everything, all the short notes as short as possible. Okay? Because the shorter you play, then you can hear if you're placing it together. You can hear how much time is in between each note. Now, have you heard the idea that when there's a rest, you actually don't rest? You have to address the rest. You have to play the rest. You have to own that space and play that space. So that's the kind of intensity that needs to be there in order for that next note to come and be together. If you take a break on the rest, everything falls apart. So this is about really slowing the tempo down and getting your time thing together. So I want to hear like 1, 2, 1, okay? Get ready to play. 1. And for you guys, for now, let's just click, 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 click. That's it. Nothing there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Right?
Gosh.
Okay, so what happens when I'm counting off? What do you guys do? I saw movement. Here's one thing, as a professional, that really makes me mad when I see other professionals do it, and also students. When I'm counting off the band and like people are like, and then at the last minute put their horn up, it's like, oh, come on, you're never gonna get the time. When I'm in a band and I'm a sideman, the guy counting off, I'm like, bam, clocked. I'm clocking that guy and internalizing his tempo so that I'm bam, right there when the downbeat comes. And also trumpet, you have to kind of be prepared, but everyone else, you should be already there so that all your breath is all in time. And it will give you a better opportunity to play it in the right place with everyone else. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard. Time is hard. Okay, so what else can you do to be together? Like even when I'm counting on, what can you do instantly that will help it be better? Yeah, subdivide. Because if you have a lot of small notes, it's hard to judge how long 100 yards is, right? So then you have those 5 and 10 yards, 20 yards, and then you have smaller yard. And even a yard is hard to really gauge. You can't, this is a yard. So you have 3 feet. Even a foot is hard. So it's always about bringing it to the smallest part so it gives you something to measure with. In this case, is to, and even with me, I'm like, and know this, we all have an inner clock, and it's perfect. When you walk, you're perfectly even. You don't even have to think about it. There are times when you go to bed, and you forget to turn on your alarm, and you wake up exactly when you're supposed to wake up. That's your inner clock, working at its best. And it's all a subconscious thing, so you have to learn and work with a metronome to get to that area. And it's kind of abstract, but the more you work, you'll start to feel it and figure it out and tap into that inner clock. But before you can get there, you have to subdivide. Okay, so when I'm counting off, subdivide in your head. You've got to start working right away. You should be, if we sat here for 15 minutes and you're subdividing and working really hard to keep the time without even playing, I'd want to see you sweat. That's how much work it takes. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. jazz do you guys listen to?
Oh,
A lot? Why don't you listen to Count Basie? You do? Count Basie, as a pianist, is so underrated. He is one of the baddest ever. His time is amazing, and the amount of notes that he plays is so sparse, but he's one of those guys that plays the space. He uses it very musically, and when he comes in, it's like, that's the heaviest thing I've ever heard. So you listen to Count Basie, and if you, a lot of your stylistic information will come subconsciously and quickly if you listen to a lot of jazz, especially music that's relevant to the music that you're doing. So try to find recordings of this and play along with it, and try to match the band. Try to be part of the band, match and mimic everything about the details of what they're doing. You'll improve so fast, faster than any teacher can give you. When I was at NEC, my trumpet teacher was like, oh man, I can't believe you're paying me this kind of money to give you information that's all on the records. And I was like, well, I'm not paying you, the school's paying me to come here. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's like, that's the kind of thinking. It's like all the information is there to be had. You just have to check it out. You have to listen to it and work with it. Okay, so you know it's hard, right? So you have to work on it with the metronome every day. Metronome and intonation every day. And I want to hear the rhythm section. Just play at a regular tempo for this piece. And just the rhythm section. Actually, let's just bass and drums. Count it off and play.
You want to start?
Wherever you start, wherever you come.
Let's start.
I'll start from 9 or 8.
2, 1, 2, there we go.
Something that you have to be aware of is where you put the amp.
Yeah.
And you're here, so all the sound is coming here. You're not hearing how loud you are, but from where I am, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So turn it down a little bit for now. And let's try a little experiment on the hi-hat. Quarter notes only. No string, just quarter notes.
Okay.
And you play your notes muted, short. Okay? And when you first play, let's play it for like maybe, I don't know, 6 to 8 bars, and then after that, close your eyes and be aware of the other person. Your least left. You're not as important as the other person. It goes both ways. Okay? And try to make that other person sound better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Play blues in there. I don't want you to look at the music. I want you to close your eyes. Shorter if you can. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what's going on? Do you guys hear what's going on? Time-wise. Huh? What do you guys feel?
I feel like we're not together.
Okay, but who's ahead and who's behind?
I think you're behind.
Yeah.
Again, awareness is the key, is the name of the game. Awareness. Put your awareness on the other person. The other person is the most important person in the world right now.
Can we just hang out on one note then?
Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Subdivided, now you're thinking too much. Lock into your intuition and just go by your feel. Okay. What do you guys think now? Who's ahead and who's behind? Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from you. from the beginning. That's the kind of detail that you have to recognize right away. And it comes from that mirror of working with the metronome. And it also comes from awareness of each other. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1,000 times better. Now put it in swing. Take care of that swing. Yeah. Now this is danceable. It feels good enough for the band to really swing on that. So it starts there. But you guys can't take a break. You have to match their time and their swing. So you gotta feel that in your body. Top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What do you think? Was there improvement? I don't want to say it because it'll be like, oh yeah, I'm so good. I think it sounds 1,000 times better. Just because you're aware, just because you put your awareness out there. And you have to train your ears to be able to hear these little subtleties, and it comes from that mirror of the metronome. And if you guys want to become professional musicians, invest in a recording device, one of those MP3 things, and listen. Record yourself and listen back. When you listen back and you hear something funky, subconsciously you're going to heal. You're going to take care of that subconsciously already. And then you'll know what to work on specifically. Now let's do intonation. Let's have sections. Concert B flat. Intonation is also, you have to have a muscle to play in tune, and if you don't use that muscle, it atrophies. So it needs to be worked on every day, at least 10 minutes a day. Concert B flat. Just those two. Keep going until. Do it again. Close your eyes and put your awareness on the other. The other person is more important than you. Go ahead. Did you hear when it's perfectly in tune, it became one sound? That's what you need to strive for. And it's harder when you have another person, and it's infinitely harder with a full band. So every day I encourage you to do that. You to really train this muscle to get that going on. And it takes a certain amount of awareness, right? Let's try to play it again with this kind of awareness, with the time, intonation. Your awareness has to encompass the entire band. We're the least important person in this collective, although you're trying to contribute the best that you can. 1, 2, top, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Good. focus. Again, it's a muscle that needs to be trained in order to keep that stamina of focus going. That's about all the time we have. You guys sound really good, and again, you're doing really good work. This is the kind of fundamental, get in the trenches work that needs to be done so that you can now exponentially improve on the work that you've already done, which is pretty tremendous. So I encourage you to do that, and it's been a pleasure to work with you and listen to you.
Thank you.